storyboarding can be difficult because you have to turn words on a page into images on a screen. So let me show you kind of what I'm working on here. Scene 2B, shot 1. That's the shot that I'm working on now. And these are the things that need to happen in the shot. And there's a marker here, and I've drawn 6 panels, maybe 20-second shot. And so within these 20 seconds, there are going to be 6 images that I need to hit that are going to tell the story. I draw a little figure. So this represents Derek. Here's his head and his shoulders. And so when I draw it out like this, where this is sort of the landscape, the beach, this is him, this is his gym bag, then I can sort of place the camera wherever I want to. Cinema is a language. Every camera angle, every focal length, every camera movement has a meaning. You know, if I were to shoot this shot on a drone facing down overhead versus shooting it with a extreme telephoto lens shooting straight up, that is very different narrative consequences. What I have to do is say, okay, what's the point of this scene? What is the character thinking? Where does the character start in this shot? Where does the character end in this shot, both physically and emotionally? And how do I accurately capture the character's journey in this shot? It's a lot for a 20-second shot, but you have to do this for every single shot of the film. I don't exactly know what these middle panels will be, but I do know what the last panels will be. I start with what I know. On the 5 and 6 panel, the character runs to another part of the set, which is represented here. So I know the panel 5 and panel 6 need to be a shot of the camera panning to follow him, and the final shot, which is a reveal shot that shows where he's running to. So here's his head. He's facing this way, and he's running. These are his arms, like that. I don't know the camera arrow symbol for pan, so I just write it camera pan right, and I can approximate it in my head. And so here we have the reveal shot, which is the gym structure. Here's the character running that way. And this is so crude on your end. You're probably thinking, what the hell does this mean? You know, no one else is going to have to read this but me. I know this is a lot, but for anybody watching, I want to communicate what this process is like, because I don't know if you've ever heard someone explain this process before. I have filled out the remaining cells. Look at this one. It says above eye level, below eye level. If a character is shot above eye level or below eye level, that usually is a symbolism of the power that they hold in that shot. So the reason that I want to shoot the character above eye level at first, then move to below eye level, and then at eye level is to show the shifting confidence that he has in himself. Sometimes when you're in a high-stress environment, your emotions can be all over the place. In one moment you think you're doing something great, the next moment you think you're absolute shit. And I kind of want to be a little bit representative of that, because in this scene, the past version of himself is talking to him through time, and so he's remembering past thoughts that he's had about himself, and that's sort of influencing how he feels about himself in the present. And I want the camera angles to be representative of that. How I map that out of my brain, that's more detailed than this, is I have different camera angles that I attach to numbers. So the first shot here, the above eye level, it's a close-up. So it's going to be very close into him. This represents the distance from the subject. This represents the frame. So if I had for instance, if I had a close-up, it would be like that. If I had a wide shot, it would be like that. You understand? This is the first angle, so this is going to be 1. And then 2 is going to be a little further back, and 3 a little further back still, and this represents the camera moving back. Now this probably looks really complicated on your end, but I know my own language, and so that's what it looks like. It starts here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is when the camera pans, and it pans to 6, and it ends it here. So 1 is right there, 2 is right there, 3 and 4 are here-ish. 5 is when the character is running to the right, so that is this. It's the pan. And then 6 is here when the character is running towards the gym, and 6 is here facing this way. That's a very brief, imperfect look at my process. And this is one shot of 30, and so I have to do this 29 more times. What seems to be 4 to 5 hours later, I'm done with all the shots that I needed to storyboard today. See here, all the shots. They all mean something to me, and it takes a lot of mental energy to do this, because you're constantly having to activate both sides of your brain at the same time. You're having to think analytically and creatively at the same time. The more my plan is concrete, the more I'll be able to execute when it comes to shooting day on Sunday. The last thing I want to be is unprepared. The thought of being unprepared gives me anxiety, but the beauty of that is that I know that it's all preventable with work.